My advanced English project is on perseverance to the extreme, namely in the face of death, and when is it good or bad. We'll be looking at two examples, contents of a dead man's pocket and swimming to Antarctica. Starting with contents of a dead man's pocket, which follows the story of Tom Benecke. In my opinion, I feel like Tom Benecke probably looks like Jim from The Office, but you can imagine him as anything you like. Anyhow, Tom follows people around to the grocery store, writing down what they do. This is all a scheme for his promotion. He wants to get promoted in his job. We don't know what he really does exactly. The paper that he's been writing stuff down on about what people like and don't at the grocery store, whatever, he likes this paper even more so than his wife, Claire. He chooses this paper and his perseverance to get promoted more so than his wife, which is what he truly should be pursuing and loving. It all falls apart when his paper inexplicably flies out his window in his apartment, and he ends up 11 stories up trying to find this paper. And we all know what happens when you fall. It doesn't look pretty, but I'll go through the schematics of it anyways, because it's kind of funny. So the longest free fall to ground without dying ever was from 20,000 feet up in the air. And they lived. This pilot, it was a pilot. The only reason they lived, though, was because they were trained, obviously, and because they fell through glass before they hit the ground. This is an extremely rare occurrence, and the likeliness of this happening all the time where you can fall that far and live is very, very slim. Tom Benecke was 11 stories up, and one story is 12 feet, give or take, so that's 132 feet. The longest free fall without dying, like we said before, was 20,000 feet. So yes, technically Tom Benecke could have survived, but like I said previously, also it's very, very slim considering he's not trained and there's no glass halting his fall. So what we now understand is that Tom Benecke was, in fact, 100% risking his life for this one paper just so he can get a promotion. What he considered just perseverance was, in fact, him hugging death. In the end, however, the paper flies away again even after he gets it and goes back into his house, and he just laughs and then goes and enjoys a movie with his wife Claire, which is what he should have done in the first place. The next story, called Swimming to Antarctica, is about Lynn Cox, a famous swimmer, who swims in the Antarctic waters for 25 minutes in 32-degree cold water. And Antarctica is right there, in case you don't know. It's right on the backside of Earth. Right, that tip right there is South America, encircled is Antarctica. And if you want to believe the Earth is flat, like some people do, then Antarctica is a rim around the entire Earth. I am not one to judge your beliefs. If that's what you believe, just go at it. So, water freezes at 32 degrees, and the water was 32 degrees. The only reason that the water was not completely solid ice is because of the salt, which is a fun fact. Anyhow, regardless, the water was really, really cold. The average body temperature is 98.6 degrees, which is the healthy body temperature, and when it goes down below that, you start to see some problems, namely hypothermia starts to kick in. And hypothermia kicks in at about 9.5 when your body gets to that point. If hypothermia kicks in and it is not acted upon, you can and probably will eventually die or be severely damaged and lose a limb. Regardless of all of these factors, Lynn Cox completes the race, witnessing a lot of cool things, seeing some penguins, and comes out on top. She's the first woman to ever swim through Antarctica. And it's pretty great, except for the fact that she suffers permanent nerve damage, which isn't that great. Both Lynn Cox and Tom Benecke in these stories are hugging death, and so to speak, but they are not equal. While Tom Benecke is just some foolish guy who foolishly believes he can be promoted that ends up on a skyscraper trying not to die, Lynn Cox is a professional swimmer who has scientists and doctors on her side trying to make sure she's safe. They're completely different scenarios, but both of them are trying to be persevering through these trials. Tom Benecke's being to be promoted, and Lynn Cox to swim through Antarctica. Tom Benecke's goal can be summed up as an obsession, while Lynn's can be an actual aspiration. To sum it up, perseverance is good, death is bad. And it's okay to have aspirations, even potentially harmful ones, even in the face of death, as long as you're well prepared, well-meaning, healthy, and safe in Lynn Cox's case. if that's all true, then it's all good. Bye.